Comment section testing sound. Watching from Facebook, watching from YouTube. Microphone test. A very good evening, dear viewers, for the fifth time today, as you watch what looks like the sixth match on the live stream, but the ninth overall. You are watching another of the very big matches of the competition, two of the very finest that Uganda has gotten to offer, racing tonight for a place in the quarterfinals of today's 16-man competition that is dubbed the last man standing. We are at Shore Lounge Bar, Restaurant and Pool Arena, as well as Guest House, the trading center of Chirinya in Wakiso district in central Uganda. On table, donning cream with light blue shorts, is Caesar Chandiga, the Skorpion, ranked second by the Police Station of Uganda, formerly ranked first, and is taking on formerly ranked first by the Police Station of Uganda, Kayanja, dubbed the Real Machine. The two shooters are racing tonight for a place in the quarterfinals to take on the winner of the match between Herbert Mokisa, the Kid, and David Kilama, the player that is called Aquatic. We will be getting updates in that one as it as well does unfold. Another race tonight which started a little earlier, and the two players are so far drawing 4-all. In this one, it is Ibra leading by 1-0. It is Caesar playing as though he will be winning the second to equalize in the encounter. There goes the Scorpions equalizer. Caesar Chandiga 1 and Ibrahim Kayanja 1. And in the meantime, there is live streaming both on Break and Finish Live Facebook as well as Peter Chobe Live YouTube. Both streams having the same commentary. You're listening to the voice of Simon Peter Chobe presenting to you action right from Shore Lounge in Chirinya. Kayanja Ibra 1, Caesar Chandiga 1, race to 9. By midnight, like I exactly guessed, we will either be having the final underway or the tournament will be done in its entirety. As I did guess that by around 6 p.m. we shall be having the second round starting, which is the quarterfinals. And yes, it is quarterfinals on two tables at 6:14, with one match having scores at 1-all, the other match having scores at 4-all. And the poll does sort us out as sports lovers. Sometimes poll enthusiasts, when they see these matches coming on the stream, they say no Premier League, no problem. And no World Cup matches as yet. For today also, no problem. One. The real machine, who is a player who is kind of rejuvenating his better days, but not exactly back as yet. I do really give him the credit for remaining firm and steadfast, most especially in training. Even though things are not exactly going his way, he's very, very talented. But of late, for the whole of a year, he has not won a single open competition. And that one, given a player of his level of skill, is a little bit shameful. Taking on a guy who exactly this year hasn't been to his very best in Caesar, having won only 4 comps locally. But importantly, he has won one big international one, which could be the biggest victory of his career, at least in terms of how much money he was able to collect, and also how many countries participated in the Africa Heibo Open. 12 countries from Europe and Asia and Africa. And yet this guy that is playing now claimed victory in the Africa Heibo Open and winning the $10,000, which is the hugest amount of cash he has ever gotten from winning one competition. Who doesn't remember when he beat Ethan Chetty of South Africa in the final? But most importantly, in the semi-final, where he defeated Britain's Jack Whelan, which could be the biggest match he has won in his career, with due respect to the semi-final that he won in the Heibo Commonwealth Billiards Championship against Chris Melling. He will be carving white, round yellow to find red, but doesn't pot. The miss of the pot is a decent chance for Ibra Kayanja to win the frame and extend his lead to lead for the very second time in the match. Going for connection, yellow into yellow, white to be played into red. White remains at the same exact spot where the red is for Ibra to have decent white for another yellow to try and put to the center pocket on the left. Has to be wary that red has been played a little too close to one of the yellows, the one which is topwards of them all. He's taking all the time he has in the world. He will be having that yellow that is close to the red at the top end of the table as the problem ball of them all. That one will not be a shot well taken. I think his intention was to manipulate white ball in the position where the cue ball will be slid off the yellow that is near the center pocket right and played into the red that is close to the yellow. He may need now a different pattern. Shouldn't be playing the bad yellow last, and clearly he will not be playing it last. He can play it now. If he can pot and get the cue ball well, he can win the frame and win it now. The yellow, which is distant from the cue ball, is the ball that has to be played now, but for whatever reason, Ibrahim Kayanja stubbornly chooses to play it last. It's risky, but it can pay off. I'm not so certain the risk is paying off here. It's a very sharp cut between white and the last yellow. Is having a very deep breath. You just don't play the bad ball on the table last. He can only recover if he can pot the yellow with sharp cut on the left into the corner pocket at the top right. White has to bounce off a number of cushions. White is off 3 cushions and the yellow is sunk, and Ibrahim Kayanja recovers. Full recovery will be by potting black. You assume he will to the diagonal corner pocket at the bottom right, and yes he does. The real machine 2, the Skorpion 1, race to 9. 4 frames apiece between Herbert Mukisa and David Kilama. 2 frames to 1. Ibra Kayanja leads against Cesar Chandiga. Whoever wins will take on the winner of the second match, whose scores you're hearing about. 2 more matches in the quarterfinals to come up on 2 tables. That is Ian Kazibe to take on Yahaya Pindi, and the other of the Star Kids. It will be a very good one, and another very good one between Farouk Mutumba, who has now turned 20, to take on Simon Level, the computer. I think now you can see the road to the final. Even between those 4, we shall have 1 finalist, and the winners of the 2 quarterfinals will take on each other. The winners of both matches happening on 2 tables will qualify themselves into the money, because the semi-finals are the actual money bracket. The last time I remember Ibra Kayanja having defeated the Skorpion, I think, was late last year. It's a competition that was won by Cesar. I remember streaming it at Kamba Sports Arena, a 16-man double life competition that was played for 1 day, but shorter races to 7 on 3 tables. I remember Ibra Kayanja defeating Cesar by about 7 frames to 4 in the first life, but Cesar defeated him in the second life semi-finals, and then Cesar won the grand final against Hazard and won the competition. About thrice Ibra Kayanja has defeated Cesar, but of course historically Cesar has got a lot bigger head-to-head statistics than his current opponent, including a money match, a race that they played, and I streamed it at on this very page at Stickers and Giggles in Kampala about 2.5, if not 3 years ago, when they raced to 21, and Cesar was stubborn enough to head start Ibra with +7, and yet he still beat him by 21 frames to 18. Actual score 21 frames to 12. Today's actual score has Ibra having the lead nonetheless. He doesn't have pretty cue ball for the last red, but can still put it to the corner pocket top left, bounce the cue ball off 2 or 3 of the top cushions, and yet he miscues. That one will be very unfortunate. The miscue, most likely a result of being so elaborative. Hardly does Ibra Kayanja play the cue ball in the middle, he hits it at the side. The risk is always there, and it is taking on the most unforgiving player you will ever see. Maybe the guilt that Ibra will be having when you have a shot to play with a cut that sharp and with too much English on the cue ball, and then he did not choke the tip of his cue stick before the shot was made. As for Cesar, as long as yellow goes into the corner pocket at the top right, direct or off the red, he will be in business. Black will be potted to the same corner pocket. No prize for guessing. Cesar wins the frame and equalizes in the match. Ibra 2, Cesar 2, race to 9. Whoever wins this ongoing frame will be taking the lead. If Ibra wins it, he will be regaining the lead. If Caesar wins it, he will be leading for the very first time. Maybe from a neutral perspective, you may wish that Ibra wins a few frames now. If the opponent leads with 2 or 3 frames, it does seem like Ibra is the more gullible player. You may have a feeling, even with Ibra taking a lead, Caesar will always have a very good fighting chance. Because yes, he's a fighter. Even against Rashid Wagaba in the first round, Dog City led, and Caesar eventually won. A win that at one time saw him win 5 straight against a player as good as Dog City. Kalima Michael, thank you for the offer. You're buying me lunch at Laban's Arena tomorrow. That is a good motivation. After this competition that shall end a little late in the night, there will be no going back home. They'll be going to another tournament that will be starting tomorrow morning or afternoon. And from the first round up to the finals, those matches shall be coming live your way. Moses and Dem is asking how Herbert Kalib performed. Kalib was beaten by 9 frames to 3 against Yahya, and this Yahya is going to be to play against Ian in one of the matches coming up next. Duncan Ogembo, yes, Kalib is out, but Ibra is in, and not just in, he is leading. After losing the previous frame relatively carelessly, he comes out with sheer class and brilliance and regains the lead with 1 visit of the table. The real machine gets his nose up in front again. Ibrahim Kayanja 3 and Caesar Chandiga 2. Special thanks to Challenge not only for organizing this competition, but like you may hear now, the music has been turned very low, and now the stream can progress with not a lot of risk. And also, most importantly, to the director of the venue, we call him Manager Fred. He's such a pool enthusiast. In fact, today's tournament is only part of a climax that has been happening. There has been a league, a singles league of only players who are members of this arena, not exactly the players that are involved in this competition. They've played matches against one another for a lot of months, and they are getting their prizes tonight, and they will be rewarded alongside the 4 guys that will be making the semi-finals, and most importantly, the 1 guy that will be the last man standing, because this competition is called the last man standing. Anyway, Off the cushion comes the real machine and finds his yellow. Only just. But Caesar will be fancying this one as a chance to take the frame now. He has one relatively bad red, the one that is close to the two yellows touching each other. Will play the cue ball into the red, plays it in space, and now has every reason to believe the frame is finishable. What he needs for now is to pot a ball. One of the reds with a white passing in between three yellows. Off target advantage. The real machine. David Kilama 5, Herbert Mokisa 6. The winner of this match will take on the winner of this match. For the rest of the tournament, I will be doing only one live stream, but on two platforms. Like this one is both on Break and Finish Live Facebook as well as Break and Finish Live YouTube. And the way the videos are looking, the two of them, for a streamer like myself, the videos do look like paradise. And no wonder they are gathering 1,300 of you, having your weekend sorted by watching the best of Ugandan pool in some kind of way, the best of African pool, because the two players are big names, not just in their country, but also on the entire competition. For instance, this guy that is playing right now was an All-Africa Pool Championships semi-finalist 5 years ago, perhaps 4 years ago, in Lusaka, in Zambia. And his opponent is current African Heibo Open champion. And from the Facebook stream, Teddy says he wants to see Ibra playing against Pilani in a money match. It will be a good one because of how similar they are in their attitude to attacking. Hello. 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 Welcome back. But the question shoot your message. Hey, turn us away. one of the longer fourth frames in the match, has gone the way of the Skorpion. The beauty is that the match remains very, very alive. To close, too tight, 6 frames played. Ibrahim Kayanja 3 and Caesar Chandiga 3, racing to 9 for a place in the semi-finals, which is pretty much racing to 9 for the money bracket. 3 minutes time out granted to Ibrahim Kayanja. For once, the Skorpion leads after 7 frames played. It is 4 frames to 3. In the quarterfinal that started prior, Kilama David, the guy that is nicknamed Aquatic, leads crucially against Herbert Mokisa. It is 7 frames to 6. Thank you for watching Scout King Jimmy. You say Caesar becomes a real beast when he faces better players. Okay, Brandon Mwandura. It's Mwandura. You predict that Caesar will win this one by 9 frames to 4. you have a very brutal prediction where you think that Ibra will not win any single frame going forward. Let's wait and see. James Chisa Lwakabila, you say it is coming to game over this one. Okay. Hey to you, Phineas Drew. You are asking about the score of Herbert's game. It is 7 frames to 6. He is down. That match is in its first timeout. Love more, Melisane, and thank you for watching as well from Southern Africa. That was very tricky. Caesar wanting to put a yellow with the master shot, and yet he had to play it only with a very sharp cut. Ibra will respond by playing red into red. His idea is to try and occupy the corner pocket at the bottom right, where 3 of Caesar's yellows are positioned just behind him. And Caesar is responding with another safety of himself. Mokozei Morenje, Ibrahim Sejemba is not in. Mwamba Chimasa, thank you for watching. You're asking why they leave this chap out of international competitions, and yet is equally good. Now, this I have to tell you, for international competitions, if it is not an official national team, the players take care of themselves. Most of the time, of course, they don't pay their bills. It is their management teams that do take care. Like I'm telling you about the Big Girls International Carnival that is coming up in Lagos. It is an open competition to everybody that is winning. So just in case you are able and willing to sponsor Ibrahim Kayanja, please go ahead, just inbox me on the page. All he needs is a flight to Lagos, return, and accommodation and entry, and it will be sorted. As good as Caesar is sorting the match now, leading by 1 frame, but now extending his lead as he hits the black card and wins an 8th, which is a 3rd for him in a row. Caesar 5 and Ibrahim Kayanja 3. Tami Kunene, you say Ibra confuses the white ball a lot, okay? Chola Lubola from Zambia, Copper Belt. I know you probably are supporting Caesar because he's played for 2 years in the league of the Zambia Pole Union. Mobsmush, you say he will sponsor himself. The last time I talked with him, he was only planning to go to the competition in Arusha in Tanzania in August, not in Lagos in Nigeria this coming week. Our remark. Thank you for watching. And Fulba Marvins, you're asking if this one is a local game, and the answer is yes. By the way, about at least 90% of the action that I normally stream, maybe nowadays a little less than 90 actually, is local competition. I'm based in Uganda. I'm Ugandan, and I normally stream competitions as they come from my own country, but when I get a chance, I do stream those that happen regionally from other places on the continent. I've never gotten a chance to cross outside the continent, but I'm thankful to the Lord for the opportunities I've gotten to do what I love doing in different countries of the continent, neighboring Uganda and as far as Southern Africa, in South Africa itself, in Zambia, in Zimbabwe. This coming week, action will be coming to you live from Lagos, the Big Girls International Carnival, which is an event that should be happening every year. I would assume is having its first edition, a 64-man competition that is having players attracted from most of West Africa. It's the first international competition that will be coming from West Africa. Players from Ghana and Cameroon and Burkina Faso are all converging in Nigeria to join Shehu and the best of Nigeria's finest players, but also challenges from players from countries like Malawi, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Uganda, and others who are still registering. And there will also be climaxing of action every day with a money match between either of the Big Girls players, Jerry, Ian and Ginte, to take on this guy that is playing right now in 2,000 and 3,000 pot money matches that will be happening in Lagos in Nigeria this coming week. please keep me company. Action will be coming to you live from this channel, as well as Qpixel's photography. There is another frame, won by the same exact usual suspect. The Skorpion extends his lead to 2 frames as he wins a second consecutive frame with again 1 visit of the table. Caesar 6 and Ibrahim Kayanja 3. Jeff Sally, thank you for watching from Entebbe. You love seeing Caesar punishing others. Nonde Thomas, you want me to tell Caesar to be in his best, at his best when he's in Nigeria next week, and you say Jerry should not be beating him like a child. Jerry has never beaten Caesar like a child. Okay, Jerry has won the last 2 times they've met, once in Kenya and once in South Africa in Durban. Actually, it is 3 times, twice in Durban and once in Kenya. Both ended in Jerry victories, all of them 21 frames to 20. All of them deciders. I don't know if that you call beating someone like a child. Caesar himself has gotten a very good number of victories against Jerry. Actually, they showed me a little more than 10, and Jerry has about 13 wins against Caesar. And this year, I think Jerry has been shooting at a higher level than anybody else on the African continent. Olonga Agotu, you say it is beast mode for Caesar. Yes, for the last few frames. And Boss Ahmed is asking if Ibra Sejemba is going to Lagos. The answer is no. And someone is asking about the length of the race of this match. The race, guys, is 9 for a place in the semi-finals to take on maybe David Kilama, who is the most likely opponent because he leads against Herbert Mukesa by 7 frames to 6 now. Or Herbert himself, if he wins 3 before Aquatic can win 2 of their remaining 4. Tony Blair from the YouTube stream, you are watching for thank you for reminding us to like the video. You may as well like the beast mode, the unplayable Caesar, the unforgiving Caesar, the one that every time gets to visit the table, and the one that wins by potting each and everything that comes his way. Even in thin spaces like this, tight margins, he can mean to have the same exact end product. It is now a 4th consecutive frame that Caesar is winning by visiting the table just once. The real machine after 10 frames 3, and the Skorpion 7, and the race to 9. Wasa James is asking if Aiden will participate in Nigeria. For now, the definitive answer I can tell you is no. Bjorn Freewin, you say I am Caesar's supporter. I'm not anyone's supporter, but yes, Skorpion is a very lovable player and person. Ndo Makando, thank you for watching, and great joy as well on the YouTube stream. Thank you very much. Chitaka Melvin, hi to you. And Kenneth Mugasha, you say the guy sees things you don't see on the pool table, and you're referring to Caesar, who is breaking for the 6th time in the match, getting to put 2 reds and a yellow, leaving an open table, and besides 2 balls, that is a red and yellow, that are touching each other at the top end of the table. The rest of the balls on the table, all yellows, all reds, are potable with some kind of ease. As Caesar goes for the reds, as he wants to close the table playing the reds, he will be having his mind on the 2 reds, 2 balls, that is red and yellow, touching each other. I am not even certain it has been a very good decision making by the Skorpion going for the reds. Clearly the yellows are easier to finish. He can only vindicate his decision if he wins the frame, most especially with an apple, which will not come easy. And there we are. Jaffias Ndo from Zimbabwe, thank you for watching. And Dalesma, you think he's a good player, he must just pay and come back to entertain. Maybe you're trying to pull the leg of Ibra's leg. The leg of Ibra, sorry. Site security. Also reminding us to like the video. Thank you very much. This frame will be as defensive can get. And not because it is finishable, but going for a clearance is quite risky given the current circumstances. if there is a red touching yellow, the two balls become dead frozen against each other. Talent Marang is asking if Eshka will participate in Nigeria. Last time I checked, the two Nigerian players I was seeing on the register in the entries list are Malvan Mokonza and the family man. But I believe for Eshka to participate, it's just a matter of decision by his boss, Nevson. And boss Nevson, we need Eshka there. Yeah. By the way, Eshka is very soon going to be rematching with Victor in Harare. In Lusaka about 2, if not 3 days ago, Victor came out victorious. Remember, Eshka's invitation is still on to every player with an African passport to play home and away. In Harare, Eshka will be returning the visit to them as well. And will be Caesar be returning another frame. Clearly he will. Beast mode fully activated by the Skorpion. Winning a 6th frame now in quick succession. Black can pass in between Joe and yellow. The frame is won by the same player that won the previous 5. Now needing to win 1 to make it into the semi-finals of this 16-man competition. Even before it is down, it is dusk, sorry. The Skorpion King 8, the Royal Machine 3. Moses to Mosime. You say on from Herbert can beat for you this Caesar. Herbert is down by 2 frames. David Kilama leads by 8 frames to 6. Herbert needs to win 3 frames in a row or else go home. Joel Chungu, thank you for watching. And you say Caesar Weldy you say Caesar is too big for Kayanja. Okay, let's see how it goes. And for the real machine, it will work only if he wins 6 frames in a row. And realistically speaking, I don't see that happening. If it does happen, we shall give him his flowers. In the first quarter final, the one that happened, that started prior to this, it is now 7 frames to 8. Herbert has won 2 quick ones. Still, David Kilama needing to win 2 in a row. Sorry, 1, and Herbert still needs to win 2 more. Going for victory, going for clearance, going for the money. And the Skorpion with the intent to play white into the pile-up of yellows and reds. He was very successful, but combination play did not come through because he wasn't able to put Ibra's red, the one that is packed near the corner pocket at the bottom right of the screen. And what can the Skorpion do? I do fancy at one time in this race, in this frame, he may still need a combination. He has the confidence of a player that is leading, a very healthy lead of 5 frames in a race as short as 9. Why not try out something big? Depending on the cue ball, he will manifest for himself, but that one only if he was able to pot. Maybe the chance will be for the real machine to take the frame away, improve his score, try to make winning a reality. Once again, dear viewers, you are watching the second match of 4 quarterfinals in a 16-man competition that is dubbed the last man standing. It normally happens once bi-monthly, and it's the 4th competition that I am streaming in the space of just about 8 months at the venue. We are having Ibrahim Kayanja down by 8 frames to 3 against Caesar Chandiga in a race to 9 for a place in the semi-finals, with live streaming from Break and Finish Live Facebook as well as Peter Chobe Live YouTube. My name, Simon Peter Chobe, is your commentator presenting to you action as it is coming live from Shore Lounge in Chirinya, Wakiso district near Kampala. The real machine has denied himself cue ball, has failed to put the last red on the table, is now giving chance to Caesar to take the frame down and the match down once and for all. Here comes the Skorpion, going now for glory, going for victory, going for an eighth, going for a semi-final, going for money. It's been quite a while since he won a local comp. Just 4 of them this year. By the way, he's still second in terms of count of local comps. Now look at how he's playing the cue ball. That is the might of the Ugandan Skorpion. And yet he doesn't even celebrate that. He treats it as though it is normal play. In actual sense, it is nothing like that. Beating Kayanja to his game of elaboration of the cue ball, the Skorpion gets to win the frame and the match, and most importantly, a place in the semi-finals where he will be taking on the winner of the match between Herbert and David Kilama. For Ibrahim Kayanja, his tournament comes to a Skorpion end. Final score, Caesar 9 and Ibra 3. Thank you for watching. See you shortly.